Hi, I'm going to talk about content management on your university website. The process is fairly simple. Requests come in to create new content. The content gets created and it gets managed throughout its life cycle and eventually retired off the website. There are 4 steps in the request phase. First of all, someone needs to be responsible for the content. There needs to be an owner. There should be justification for why this request came through. What's the purpose of this content? What's the goal of this content on the website? Resources. The content owner needs to commit resources so the project can be successful. And the criteria for success needs to be defined. In the request phase, it's important to establish ownership and justification. And you can do this through an online form. So basically, someone can make a request, and on your online form, you can collect their name, their department, reason for requesting the content, and this will give you your owner and the purpose. The project needs to be staffed appropriately. The staff should have the right background, the right experience and skill sets to create the content, design it, produce content for it, whatever it is that you need for this project. The content owner needs to commit those resources, and the content owner needs to make sure that they're going to be available throughout the project's duration. A lot of times what happens there's competing priorities at a large university or any organization, and those resources get pulled away. The content owner is responsible for making sure that the resources are always available. There should be success criteria defined, whether that's time management that's going to be improved, or maybe one of the goals is to attract more site visitors, or maybe it's to bring in more funds from alumni or whatever. Whatever the success criteria is, it just needs to be defined. So there's something to look back on and say, yes, this is what we're achieving, what we set out to achieve with this project. The second phase is the create phase, and obviously this is where content gets created, but there's also a couple important steps here as well. What you need to do with your content is to make sure that there are appropriate filters assigned to it. So you may not want your content to be available to everyone at your university or your visitors, so you need to make sure that appropriate filters are applied. And there should also be an approval role and other roles to act as a gateway to content before it gets published. So basically, to assign access, you can do that through your content management system. So for example, content X gets uploaded to the CMS, and then at that point filters can be applied, so only the right people can see that content, and it flows appropriately. There should also be approvers. You can do this as well through your content management system. So when new content gets submitted, the approver either rejects it or approves it. The third phase is the manage phase. And this is basically the phase where you manage ownership of the content and make sure that it's updated regularly, and there's never content that's not owned or that someone is not responsible for on your website. So you can do this through your CMS as well. And so obviously the theme here is making the most use out of your content management system or any technology to facilitate the process. So you can run reports and find out what content on the site does not have an owner. And if it doesn't, you can make sure that content gets reassigned. The last phase is the retire phase, and this is maintaining the content on the site through its life cycle. So this is checking regularly to make sure it's still valuable, still timely, and if it's not, making sure that it gets removed. So in the life cycle of content on a website, your content gets published. It's best practice to check it regularly, make sure it's still useful and people are still using it. If it's old or irrelevant, it should get removed and new content gets uploaded. So this is the process in a nutshell, and if it's followed, it will help your site become the content on your site become more streamlined, and people will find content more easily, and it won't be such a painful process to keep your content updated and valuable to everyone that uses it.